Hey everybody, welcome to first in a series of videos about how to make storyboards in a 3D environment, in a 3D world, if you will, where you can move the camera all around and pick out the best shots. So this is the first installment in how to deal with and make and use 3D storyboards. All right, a shout out to all my friends out there. Some people saying they're watching some of these videos. My friends in Jian province, China. Well, it's not really a province, it's a city, but you know, whatever. Or Minneapolis province, Minnesota. That's not a province either, but whatever. We are here in Dallas, Texas, or Salad, whatever this hat says. I can't. Okay. Anyway, we're here talking about 3D storyboards, and I'm going to use a piece of software called FrameForge 3D, although there are many pieces of software that can do this. But a little bit of history. I teach a class on how to deal with short form video, and especially how you might make it when you're in an ad agency situation, a situation where there needs to be a lot of planning. A lot of young people and students, they just want to whip out their phones and shoot something and make it real quick, but that's not really how it works when things become high dollar and you're paying big money for things. So in that ad agency type of world, they really want you to do things. Let me put on my, don't sight shame me, I've got to put on my glasses. Okay, we're going to look at a little bit of stuff here from things that you might have to do when you're doing this kind of stuff. And one of the things is you might have to just, make some sort of a shot list. Like I've got a student here who had a shot list, and it's a nice shot list. I once had a student that did pretty amazing work, and his shot list was pretty simple. But then he did a storyboard, and sometimes you can do storyboards with just, blank sheets of paper like that you draw on. Just something that looks like this that we use a lot of times when we're just drawing them. But the reality is, a lot of times you might do a more fancy shot list. Like I had this same student, Chance, who made a very fancy shot list using a fancy storyboard, rather using something like Photoshop. And he went in there and just did things a lot nicer looking. And then, of course, he went on to make a pretty cool animatic that had a very cool look to it for an animatic. And he was making a commercial for the school. And then he went on to make a really cool commercial.
Poker, детки.
Look out! You missed every shot.
Anyway, he did a pretty awesome job making that commercial, but he did it in a way where he went and did it the proper way, where he made shot lists and storyboards and animatics. And when I say proper way, I mean just the way you would do when you're dealing with clients, and how clients might want to, if they're paying you a lot of money, how they might want to see the progression. So one of the issues that people have is that maybe they can't draw very well, and they draw stick figures, and they might have things that look a little more like this for their storyboards, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But if you want to make something that might look a little bit more, I don't know, fancy is the right word, maybe. A lot of Hollywood things will have stuff like this.
Hi everybody, this is Peter Solid.
The storyboards look a little bit like this. And they, the storyboards just are, professional artists drawing these storyboards. So you'll see this kind of thing all the time. One of the things you can do is what I'm going to show you today, which is dealing with a 3D environment. So this is a program called FrameForge, and it just has a professional kind of look to it. And this is one of my students working on a commercial here using FrameForge. And what we're going to do is we're going to get into this FrameForge program. And the reality is, you might be wondering, why would I do this? I don't want to learn 3D. You don't really have to. It's a little bit like playing The Sims. If you've never seen, you've probably played this game called The Sims or something like that. And even Minecraft has elements of this where you're building a little city and you're building a world and you're putting people in it. Well, that's what FrameForge does. FrameForge just simply allows you to build your sets virtually in a 3D world, which allows you to move your cameras around anywhere and get high angles, low angles, zoom in. It even tells you the focal length of your shots and, crane it up, dolly it around, whatever you need to do. It does it virtually, and then you take snapshots and get your stills as you, the director, are directing this ahead of time, just digitally. So let's look at this software, and I actually pre-recorded this first part, which we're talking about building the sets. So this very first video, this is a series of videos. I believe there'll be 3 of them, but this one's about building the sets and in the virtual reality world, and then the next one will be about putting in props and people and furniture and backgrounds and art stuff, production designer stuff. And then the last one will be about actually recording the stills and outputting that to give to a client. So let's start with this first one, building the sets. I'm going to pull up a video here that shouldn't have any audio on it, and I'm going to talk through this video, and we're going to look at building the sets using FrameForge. So what we've got here is we've got a FrameForge down here on the bar in computer, and that's what we're clicking on to open it up. FrameForge opens up and it looks like this, and you have no choices with FrameForge. You are stuck with, I've got to create a set first. And I can't even go over here to save anything. I just can't even save anything at all. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to name the set, and I'm going to just go ahead and make a set of a classroom. And it's going to actually mimic the classroom that we teach in here at the school. So I'm calling it classroom set. I don't want to make an exterior. I want to make an interior. So it's an interior classroom set. So I'll click on that. And now I'm just going to be building a room. I'm going to be building a room on this set to make this set. So I'm actually mimicking the classroom here at MediaTech on the Dallas campus, MediaTech Institute. And you could draw a simple box, and it actually gives you could measure it in feet or meters. I'm going to go ahead and build walls by grabbing a single wall here, pulling it off to the side, and that would be the wall sitting behind my teacher's desk, and then over on the right. Now, this isn't the room I'm sitting in now. This is the room I normally teach in. There's a little cubby hole in the back like that, a little cutout area. And then it comes down, and this is where the hallway side is over here. So I'm building out a little bit of the hallway and some of the other classrooms that you could see if you happen to see through the windows. And yes, we can put windows and doors on this virtual set. So as you can see, this is like an overhead, like a CAD drawing almost, where you're drawing it from an overhead. So hopefully you can do that. Now I want to add some doors. So I'm clicking on the option to add a single door, and I can choose if I want that door to open to the outside or do I want it to come in and open on the inside. And I'm choosing the way the door opens in real life in our classroom. Then here's another door and yet another for different classrooms, and I'll put the way that they actually open into the classroom. So I'm building this set, and I could tell it the size of the walls and on all that kind of stuff. But the reality is I'm just building a generic kind of thing to go ahead and start getting people in there. But I need to put some windows on this classroom because there are a lot of windows at the end of our classroom that look out into the corridor of the school and into the other classrooms. So we're looking across the hallway into other classrooms. So we're adding these windows now to everything here. And then once I get all this built, I'm pretty close to having the set built how I want. I don't need to add furniture, people, or anything at this stage. This stage is just all about going to build the sets. And I could go, cut holes in walls, add different kinds of windows, different kinds of doors, make it in feet or meters. There's all kinds of stuff. And then when I'm done, I just need to click on Build Rooms, and I will actually build this room to start using. And this is what it looks like. Now I'm looking at an overhead view right now. Oh, it's a good time to save. See, FrameForge doesn't allow you to save at the very beginning because it says, well, if you don't have a set, I got nothing to save. And notice that its file extension is a .previz. You always want to keep that on there. I'm finding a lot of people today that only work with phones and not computers. They don't know about file extensions. Computers need them to know what they are opening up. So .previz would open up a FrameForge document. You can make FrameForge for Mac or PC. You can choose both. I'm putting it in a folder. It's always a good idea when you work on a new project to organize it well, because anyone who's taken over the project for you or you need to share it with can easily figure out where everything is. So I'm making a folder where I'm going to keep this particular project. And I'm only making one to teach with right now. I'll create that folder. Now I could make this Mac or Mac and PC or both. I'm just going to make it Mac since I'm working on a Mac, but it could be compatible with both platforms. Then I'll say save. And once I save it out, it has now been saved. And you may notice that it kind of looks like I've got green grass on this, and you can change all that stuff. But right now I'm going to quit FrameForge. So the next one of these videos is all about that, all about putting props in it, people in it, getting the whole software worked out. So look for part 2, and in part 2 we will explore the next set of options, making 3D storyboards. Put on my Dallas hat. Boy, I look stupid there. All right, here we go. That's it. That's my name. There we go. We're in Dallas. And wait, nowadays you're supposed to wear it like this, right? Wait, no, never. Nobody my age is supposed to wear it like that. That's really dumb looking. I mean, really dumb looking. Whatever. See you on the next video.